It's recording.
And how do I
So,
stop it?
when if you want to stop it, just turn it off right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now, you got to speak up into it. Okay?
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm going to read my literacy narrative that I wrote for Sarah O'Hara's Writing 101 class. It's called Awakening the Reader. There is an incredible thing which lives inside of you. It can bring you great enjoyment and help you go on the most incredible journeys. It can lead you on a path to anywhere or any time you could ever wish to go. Tragically, many people go through life never knowing this thing is inside of them, sleeping, just waiting to be awakened. I call this thing the reader. I believe everyone has a reader inside of them. All they need to do is find the right book that will wake it up. As a person gets older, it seems to become more and more difficult to rouse it. That is why I believe that reading to our children is one of the greatest things a parent can do. Some of my earliest and happiest memories are of my mom reading to my sister and me. She would read to us every night before we went to bed. I would close my eyes and run through the woods with Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. I still remember seeing Tom and Huck watching their own funeral when the town thought they had died. Sometimes I would get to go far back in time when she read Jane Eyre or Little Women. Reading was very encouraged when I was growing up. My mom was an avid reader, and she wanted us to enjoy it as much as she did. My sister was always reading if she didn't have to do anything else. I was a reluctant reader at first. I liked stories, but when I had to choose between reading a book or playing with toys, I always chose the toys. I wasn't able to understand how someone could get so into a book when there was so much other stuff they could do. My sister is probably the main reason that kept me searching for the book that would awaken the reader inside of me. I idolized her as we were growing up, and I was determined to be just like her. I saw how much she loved to read, so I figured that I should love books too. I thought her books were kind of boring, but I figured since she liked them, they must be good. So I kept on trying. I was on a quest to find out what was so great about books, and I was determined not to give up until I found an answer. Ironically, I probably would have gotten into reading much earlier if I had read books written for my own age instead of reading her books. We're only a year and a half apart, but her reading tastes were very advanced, so the books she was reading were written for older teens to adults. While I was on my quest, I did find a few books that I liked. There was Heidi. I thought the mountains with their snow-capped peaks were beautiful. I loved her character and how she helped her friend Clara to walk. I thought it was cool how she had goats and made goat cheese. I still want to try goat cheese someday. I also enjoyed The Secret Garden. I loved Dickon and how he seemed to be able to talk to his pets. There were a couple others about animals that I enjoyed too. However, I still not found what was so awesome about reading, so I kept on searching. I had almost given up on ever becoming an avid reader until one day I heard my mom and sister talking about a book where the people had magic and they could fly and do all kinds of stuff. I had to read this book. It sounded so intriguing. It turned out to be a series called the Darkside Trilogy. I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but sometime while I was reading these books, a change started to occur. I could feel something stirring inside of me, like a great beast waking up from a long nap. It was slow at first, but then, all of a sudden, it was flying through me. The reader was finally awake, and it was hungry. I had to keep on reading to feed its ferocious appetite. In return, the reader sucked me into this marvelous place of fantasy where anything is possible. I started finding other books to love, and it no longer mattered if they were books my sister liked. I loved them just for the stories that they held. I discovered many great books after that. Some of my favorites consisted of a Star Wars series called Young Jedi Knights. The main characters were kids my own age who went on exciting adventures chasing bad guys and saving people. As I have grown older, my tastes in books have also matured. I will occasionally read a drama or a classic book, but my passion is still fantasy. My current favorite books are a series called The Dresden Files. The main character is a modern-day wizard who lives in Chicago. He solves crimes and basically saves the world. These books have a lot of action and humor in them, which is one reason I like them. I can't fully express the excitement and ecstasy I get from reading a well-written fantasy book. Reading has given me the opportunity to travel to other worlds and meet new beings. After I lost my mom, I was able to escape to a book when things became too hard to handle. Ever since the reader was awakened, it has led me on a journey of discovery. Because of the reader's ravenous appetite, I am constantly searching for new things to read and learn. If I had never found a way to awaken my reader, I never would have found all the wonderful worlds just waiting to be found.